Of this 50th anniversary. So I thought I would start with a top 10 list of why it's a good thing to have a 50th anniversary. With thanks to David Letterman. The 10th best reason for having a 50th wedding anniversary is that nobody worries about living in sin anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
I've got to keep my mouth shut here. Number 9, the 9th best reason for having a 50th wedding anniversary is you don't ever have to ask for what's for dinner anymore.
Not in this family. Not in this family.
The 8th best reason for having a 50th wedding anniversary is gray becomes a much prettier color. The 7th best reason for having a 50th wedding anniversary is you can forget all your old pickup lines. 6th best reason is you know in advance sometimes when it's time to have an argument. Now, those of us that have been married for a number of years, not like that. The 5th best reason for having a 50th wedding anniversary is you can probably by now remember when that anniversary date is. The 4th best reason is 50 is an easy number to remember. The 3rd best reason is your grandchildren probably know you better than your kids do.
That's true.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
The 2nd best reason for having a 50th wedding anniversary party is because it's a great excuse for having a poker game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the best?
And the best is just because it's a great thing. Congratulations to my parents.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah.
First?
Yeah, somebody.
What's first?
Because I start at the beginning.
That sounds like a great idea.
Oh, where is this? Oh,
You gotta look for it. I was coming here with a 5-page list. My God.
Oh, thank you.
it's very good.
Thank you,
He did. Oh,
Hey,
that's
give her a hand.
You got here a little bit late.
Very good.
Oh, you got a nice program, there, Steffi.
It looks longer than it is.
Steffi is a
Very
chair.
nice.
The year was 1946 when Edith made her way from New York to California and the city by the bay. And there was her mother's friend Nika, always looking for making a match, who was the force that brought her westward, as after all, she was quite a catch. John's story is not so different, though he came from Manila to here, to finally join his family, a dream from year to year. And so they met in sunny SF, the pretty artist and the handsome chef. They were married by Burstein, the rabbi for lots of the ex-Germany couples that tied the knots. To Yosemite they went for their honeymoon. Besides seeing the sights, there was still time to swoon. A few months later, they were Aspen bound, Edith and John, and Sappho the hound. John cooked at Jerome, the old hotel, and skied down the slopes, which he did rather well. They returned to San Fran before Ron came to be. His starter for today is a large family. Richard and Michael complete the big three with their wives and 5 young ones. What a great sight to see. There are many more chapters that built their life, but we covered the beginning of this husband and wife. Now, 50 years later, we're so happy to share this blessed event with this marvelous pair, and wish them the best that life has to give, with good health and happiness for as long as you live.
Amen.
Clean dishes, past and future trips, close to home and across continents, for the chance to experience worlds opposite of my own, for gifts given, for poker. Everyone needs to know how to play poker. And even if the winnings aren't so sweet, the desserts always are. Thank you.
Jesse? What? Your turn. Michael?
What is my dad's?
It is his turn right now.
Not yet. That's pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
When's the cake?
It's a daunting challenge to write a poem about 50 years of marriage. It's difficult to express this amount of time in just a few verses that rhyme, but in the interest of brevity, we will attempt to complete this poem about their 50th anniversary. For those of you who are mathematically inclined, 50 years is a very long time. It's 18,250 days, or 1,095,000 minutes, you see. A wedding date so far back that some of us younger folk could easily have thought it had a suffix of BC. But seriously, their adventure began in 1947 with their first summer spent in Aspen. Our father tried making a living as a cook in Hotel Jerome, while our mother stayed home with their new puppy, Sappho. That's rare. On their way back from Aspen, Colorado, they stopped in Las Vegas to play in the casino. Our father was hoping to make it rich, but no such luck. They were now left without a penny to pinch. Our father started working as a chef in hotels of the city, while our mother taught nursery school to a group of little kiddies. They finally bought their first home in 1948 and didn't wait long before Ron was born, 1 year to date. They didn't want to procrastinate in pursuing their family. Dick was born 2 years later in 1950. Now that's snapping. Life was busy, but our father wanted to go back to school. He started Berkeley and graduated with an MSW. Oops, I almost forgot about son number 3 and the completion of the Odenheimer family. Now their house was too small with 3 little boys. 1958, Hebrew school, bar mitzvahs, and lots of important dates. They met many dear friends during those first few years. Friends like the Kermits, the Radcliffes, and of course, the Spears. Along the way, they had many animals, from dogs to snakes, from chickens to rats, any reptile that the boys could partake. From a dog named Hannibal, who viewed us as just a pit stop in his quest to explore, to the snake that lived behind the dishwasher that our mother deplored.
True story.
It's hard to believe their first overseas trip cost them $1,500. That's cheap. But they scrimped and saved by where they chose to eat and sleep. Whether it was Israel, India, Africa, or Finland, they left us kids alone. Much of they left. One more time. Whether it was Israel, India, Africa, or Finland, they left. But they
Here to say Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. This is a great day. I have learned a great deal from you both through the years, how to work through a problem and find a solution. You've taught me the values, I'm proud to say, that we now pass on to our grandson today. Like the importance of reading all kinds of books and respect of people no matter how they may look, and learning the blessings, the Shema and the Motzi, and not getting stuck in some narrow rut. We don't need to look far to see the impact we've made. We passed on important traditions, I'd say. As I think of the things that I do with my time, I see that as parents, you have done just fine. It can't be an accident that all of us boys love to do similar things that bring us great joys. like skiing and camping and hiking and travel. How this came to be isn't hard to unravel. Now to tie this all up, we just want to say how glad we are to be here today. We love you and thank you for all you have done. And me, I'm just glad to be your son.
Is there anybody else that has something they'd like to say?
You didn't do any?
Unc?
I will.
You get Unc?
You have to get up there.
I have to get up?
Yeah.
But the first time I got to know John and Edith very well was when a group of us went to Ashland one summer to see
Oh,
the
my goodness.
Shakespeare Festival. Not a word for hypochondriac. And then I said, is that Mount Shasta in the distance? And he said, what's a four-letter word for a Greek stoa and it starts with an A? And this went on mile after mile after mile. That's how I got to meet John.
And you know, it's funny that he would say that. Michael, as a token of appreciation, because we babysat for his sick kids about a week ago, gave me a computer Scrabble game. And Edith has been mad at me ever since. And I've been fighting the computer, and I accused the computer of cheating me. And I'm having a hard time. But I want to tell you that the computer on the champion level has beaten me 7 out of 9 times. I've won 2, and it won 7. So, but I'm pretty, you know, I count my blessings. So I really, I'm glad I beat him twice, you know, it's pretty good. So, Dick was absolutely, I mean, Dick, another Dick. Dick was absolutely right about the words. They mean a lot. And this, especially a 4-letter word.
Oh.
It's W-I-F-E.
I thought you would say L-O-V.
I had another one. Can't use it in the script.
Knowing John, I didn't know what to think.
I
think the balcony wants to say hello.
Now, Phoebe, you have...
Phoebe.
Phoebe.
Judy's
Art
mother.
and I are Ron's in-laws, and Judy is our daughter. And it must be relativity or something because we wrote a poem also. So we're keeping up with the Odenheimer. And the artwork is courtesy of Judy, partially because she sent us a Hebraic program, and Art illustrated it. And I served mostly as critic in this, and Art wrote the poetry. And it says, Dear Edith and John, happy golden anniversary. May the music of life play happily on, with grandkids around you to dote upon, with more trips to places far and near, good health, good friends, and much family cheer.
So, over the years, we have received mail, thanks to my parents, with every conceivable name and spelling of the name Odenheimer. And my wife has done a tribute to that.
I need all of you here with me. This is a microscopic play. I'm calling it Ode on Odenheimer, and I extend huge apologies to Edgar Allan Poe. I need you all here. Jesse, where are you? And Lisa. Okay. Once upon a dinner time dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over what fearsome dish to inflict on my poor family, while I fretted clearly frustrated, suggesting pasta, chicken, rice, and hearing them all scream nevermore, all at once there came a ringing from our phone, gently trilling on our kitchen wall. 'Tis the Sears vinyl siding man, I muttered, trilling on our kitchen wall. Only this and nothing more. Mrs. Odenheimer. Truly, you've no idea how much value and beauty, Mrs. Odenheimer, vinyl siding adds to your home. Can we interest you, Mrs. Odenheimer? To this I whispered, nevermore.
Back into the kitchen, turning, all my creative juices flowing, I selected Chinook salmon from my river door.
Go tell them.
What else to dream before? Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing. It was then I noticed an envelope upon the floor. Surely this was something. Let me see the writing and this mystery explore. A side dish, perhaps a salad recipe. On it was written, Lisa Odenheimer. And nothing more. On the counter I lay the writing, wondering who had done this misspelling.
But the salmon still be going, all my fancy into smiling, and then a knock against the door. Mom, said Jessie, 'tis the visitor entering entrance, some late visitor entering entrance at our chamber door. Mom, I'll get it, quoth I, heading toward the floor. Open here, I flung wide the door, and stepped a stately Democratic Party campaigner. And I thought, what a bore. Quoth the campaigner, Mr. Odenheimer, over the row, your parents cast their votes for good or sorrow. Remind them, Mr. Odenheimer, about Al Gore.
Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, I dropped my woodworking magazine by the floor. Retrieving it, a slip of paper fluttered, and chilled me to the core. Fancy unto fancy, thinking that this was ominous paper bore. Yes, Ron Oppenheimer, subscribe now and see the next issue, nevermore.
Said the raven.
And then suddenly there came a tapping as someone gently rapping at our chamber door.
'Tis some visitors, some late visitors entreating in trance at our chamber door.
Presently our souls grew stronger, hesitating, then no longer we threw forth the door. It's Grandma Edith and Grandpa John with Papa sauce for the salmon and 800 kinds of cookies for dessert. Thank you, Grandma and Grandpa, but we must implore, how did you know of our dreaming dreams no mortals ever dared to dream for? That our dinner was something to deplore, at best a bit of a bore. Quoth Grandma and Grandpa, stop it already, eat dinner, it will get cold.
So,
very poetic.
if there are related,
Absolutely.
I think we all ought to have a toast to the 50th anniversary. John and Edith, my
Here's the
parents,
glass.
to many more.
Happy
Said the
days.
raven.
Now,
Nevermore.
Nevermore.
Yeah, never. I just, thanks, Sandy. I just, when the kids were asking me for some pictures, I gave them picture albums, of which I have about 20, and let them select some. And as Dick returned them today, he said, "Do you know there was a letter in there that fluttered to the floor, and he read it, and he gave it to me, and so I read it, and I think it is so cute that I want to read it. It is, there's pictures here of arrows with hearts, and it says, a love letter to our dear mommy. Every year we look in vain for a card that would explain all the love we have for you. No such card has yet been put forth, has yet been printed. No such words have been invented. They are all commercial stuff, much too low to show our love. In spite of all the machination, one day a year for appreciation is not too much, no, not enough. To Mommy dear, who holds us tight when we are sick in midst of night, who washes and sweeps and cleans and dusts, not too often, but also tells us our musts, whom we all love and adore, we say, a very happy Mother's Day. Your loving sons, signed Ronald and Dickie, and of course you know who wrote it, and thank you very much.
And the year we think, by the way, is about 1954.
Yeah, it must be, you must be, you couldn't write yet. Ronald just printed his name dictated.
It's incredible.
Usually, look at your
So, and also there's a poster out the front. We'd like to invite everybody to make a comment on there and to autograph or somehow tell that you came tonight.
And I want to express my appreciation for everyone who came tonight and joined us in our celebration. We appreciate deeply all our friends and relatives, and we love having you. Thank you for coming. That doesn't mean that you have to leave now.
We haven't even had the cake. Come on.
You still have cake with real roses on it.
When we got married. Speech. When we got married, we didn't have a wedding cake. As a matter of fact, Edith paid for the wedding ring. She did. She paid for her own ring. I didn't have any money.
That makes me feel good.
She paid her share. You don't have either? Gives me a chance to make amends. All right, here with amends.
Let's go. All right, together. Cut that cake together.
Yeah, they are.
Bend down a little.
Mom, forward.
Get a little closer to the cake.
Zachary, Joshua, move back.
Those are real. They're not.
Joshua.
This is like the worst I've ever had. Until 6 or something. I haven't had
All right.
just in the summer.
There's Jesse with his bloody nose. How about the